All right, football fans, buckle up for a wild ride. Imagine this. It's a sunny afternoon at the Emirates Stadium. The crowd's buzzing, and Arsenal, yes, Arsenal, unleashes an absolute onslaught, demolishing Leeds United 5-0 in a Premier League match that had jaws dropping. But here's the shocker. Two of Arsenal's biggest stars go down with injuries, and a 15-year-old kid steals the show. What just happened? Welcome to Premier League Pulse, where we break down the biggest moments in English football. I'm Lucas, and I'm here with my co-host Carlos. What's good, man?
Yo, Lucas, I'm still reeling from that game. 5 goals, a clean sheet, and a teenager running circles around grown men? This match was straight up bonkers. We're diving deep into Arsenal's 5-0 thrashing of Leeds on August 23, 2025. And trust me, there's a ton to unpack. Tactics, heroes, injuries, and even a new signing stealing the spotlight before he even stepped on the pitch.
Oh yeah, this one's got it all. We're going to walk you through the goals, the standout players, and what this means for both teams moving forward. Plus, we'll sprinkle in some fun facts about Arsenal's set-piece magic and Leeds' struggles. No experts today, just me and Carlos breaking it down like we're chatting at the pub. Ready to get started, Carlos?
Born ready, man. Let's kick this off.
So, let's set the scene. It's August 23rd, 2025, match day 2 of the Premier League season. Arsenal's coming off a gritty 1-0 win against Manchester United at Old Trafford. Nice start, right? Leeds, meanwhile, also grabbed a 1-0 win against Everton in their opener, so both teams are feeling good. But nobody saw this 5-0 beatdown coming. Carlos, what was your first thought when you saw the scoreline?
Honestly, I thought, did Leeds forget to show up? I mean, 5-0 is the kind of score you see in a video game, not a Premier League match. Arsenal were on fire, and Leeds just couldn't keep up. The Emirates was electric, especially with that pre-match hype when they unveiled their new signing, Eberechi Eze, to the crowd. Fans were already losing it before the whistle even blew.
Oh, for sure. That Eze reveal set the tone. Picture this. 60,000 fans packed into the Emirates, cheering as Arsenal's new $67.5 million man from Crystal Palace waves to the crowd. It's like the Gunners were saying, we're here to make a statement. And boy, did they deliver. Let's break down the goals real quick to give listeners a sense of how this unfolded.
All right, let's do it. First goal, 34th minute. Arsenal's set-piece wizardry strikes again. Declan Rice whips in a corner, and who's there? Jurriën Timber, the Dutch defender, nodding it in after Leeds botched the clearance. 1-0 Arsenal. That's their 33rd goal from a corner since last season started. 13 more than any other team. Insane.
Timber was a beast in this game, but we'll get to him later. Then right before halftime, Bukayo Saka, Arsenal's star boy, doubles the lead. It's a lightning-fast break down the right. Timber feeds him the ball, and Saka smashes it past Leeds' keeper, Lucas Perry. 2-0 at the break, and Leeds are already looking shell-shocked.
Second half kicks off, and it's like Arsenal turned the heat up to 11. 3 minutes in, new signing Viktor Gyökeres, fresh from Sporting Lisbon, finally gets his moment. Riccardo Calafiori lofts a ball over the top. Gyökeres powers into the box with like 7 clinical touches and bangs it low and hard past Perry. 3-0. The guy missed a sitter earlier, but that goal, pure class.
And it's not over. Around the 55th minute, Timber strikes again. Another corner, another header, another Leeds defensive meltdown. VAR checks it, but the goal stands. 4-0. At this point, Arsenal are just toying with them.
And the cherry on top? Stoppage time. A 15-year-old kid named Max Dowman, remember that name, wins a penalty with some dazzling footwork. Gyökeres steps up, cool as ice, and slots it home for his second goal of the night, 5-0. Game over. The Emirates is going wild, and Leeds are just ready to go home.
That's the summary, folks. 5 goals, a clean sheet, and Arsenal sitting pretty at the top of the Premier League table after 2 games. But there's a dark cloud, 2 big injuries. We'll get into that later. For now, Carlos, what stood out to you about Arsenal's performance?
Their attack was relentless, man. They didn't just win, they dominated. Leeds had a chance early on, a header from Pascal Struijk that forced a crazy save from David Raya. But after that, it was all Arsenal. Their set pieces, their pace, their finishing. It was like watching a masterclass.
Totally agree. And for the students out there listening, here's a quick lesson. Arsenal's success in this game shows how preparation and strategy can make a huge difference. Their set-piece drills, their high-pressing game, and their ability to exploit mistakes were textbook. Let's dive into the key players who made this happen. All right, let's talk about the guys who stole the show. First up, Jurriën Timber. Carlos, this dude's a defender, right? But he's out here scoring braces and setting up goals like he's a striker.
Yo, Timber was unreal. 2 goals and an assist? That's not normal for a center back. His first goal was a classic header from a corner. Leeds just couldn't handle him in the air. His second was scrappy but smart. He pounced on a loose ball after another set piece, and then he sets up Saka's goal with a pinpoint pass. The guy was everywhere.
Fun fact for our listeners. Timber's brace made him only the second Arsenal defender to have 3 or more goal involvements in a single Premier League match. The other? Nacho Monreal, back in 2017. That's elite company. Timber's showing why Arsenal's defense isn't just about stopping goals. It's about starting attacks too.
Speaking of attacks, let's talk about Viktor Gyökeres. This guy's got a crazy backstory. 97 goals in 102 games for Sporting Lisbon before Arsenal signed him. He had a rough debut against Manchester United last week, missed a big chance early in this game, but then, bam, 2 goals. What did you make of his performance, Lucas?
He started shaky, no doubt. There was that moment in the 16th minute where Leeds messed up playing out from the back, and Gyökeres had a golden chance, unmarked, 8 yards out, dragged it wide. You could see the pressure on him, but that second half goal, pure power and precision. He took that ball from Calafiori, charged into the box, and rifled it past Perry. And the penalty at the end? Ice cold. Mikel Arteta called him really dangerous. And you can see why.
Yeah, Arteta said Gyökeres' superpower is getting into those scoring positions. That's a big deal for Arsenal, who've needed a clinical striker. But let's talk about the kid everyone's buzzing about, Max Dowman, 15 years old, Lucas, 15. And he's out here making his Premier League debut, running at defenders and winning a penalty.
Unreal. Max Dowman, 15 years and 235 days old, comes off the bench in the 64th minute and becomes the second youngest player in Arsenal's history, just behind Ethan Nwaneri. He's only the 3rd player under 16 to play in the Premier League ever. And he didn't just stand there, he was fearless. 2 long-range shots, a mazy dribble, and then he draws a foul from Anton Stach to win that penalty. Arteta said, "The talent is unquestionable." That's high praise.
For our younger listeners, this is a huge lesson. Age doesn't matter if you've got skill and confidence. Dowman's out there showing what's possible. But it wasn't all perfect for Arsenal, right? Those injuries to Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka had fans holding their breath.
Yeah, that's the sour note. Odegaard, Arsenal's captain, went off in the first half with a shoulder issue. Saka, their star winger, limped off in the 54th minute with a hamstring problem. Early reports say Saka's injury might not be as bad as feared, but both are doubts for Arsenal's next game against Liverpool. That's a big blow for a team with title ambitions.
No kidding. Odegaard's the brain of the midfield and Saka's their spark. Losing them could hurt, but Arsenal's depth, guys like Nwaneri, Trossard, and now Eze waiting in the wings, might keep them rolling. Let's take a quick break, and when we're back, we'll dive into the tactics that made this 5-0 possible and what it means for both teams.
Welcome back to Premier League Pulse. We're breaking down Arsenal's 5-0 demolition of Leeds United. And now it's time to get nerdy with the tactics. Carlos, what did Arsenal do so well in this game?
They played like a team that's been drilling every detail in training. First, their set pieces were lethal. 2 goals from corners? That's not luck, that's preparation. Arsenal have scored 33 goals from corners since the 2023-24 season. way more than anyone else in Europe's top leagues. Declan Rice and Riccardo Calafiori were delivering perfect balls, and guys like Timber and Gabriel were attacking them like missiles.
Totally. For students listening, this is a great example of how practice pays off. Arsenal's set-piece coach probably deserves a raise. What else stood out tactically?
Their high press was relentless. Leeds tried to play out from the back, but Arsenal were all over them. That mistake in the 16th minute where Martin Zubimendi stole the ball from Anton Stach? That's what happens when you press smart. Arsenal forced errors and then pounced with speed. Saka, Gyökeres, Madueke, all flying forward.
And let's not forget their 4-3-3 formation. It's so flexible. Timber and Calafiori were bombing forward from the back. Rice and Zubimendi controlled the midfield, and the front three just overwhelmed Leeds' defense. Leeds, on the other hand, looked lost. What went wrong for them, Carlos?
Where do I start? Leeds played a 4-3-3 too, but their defense was a mess. Pascal Struijk and Joe Rodon couldn't handle Arsenal's movement, and their midfield, Stash, Tanaka, Gruev, got overrun. They had that one chance with Struijk's header, but David Raya's save shut it down. After that, they just fell apart.
Yeah, Leeds' game plan was probably to sit deep and counter, like Martin Green predicted before the match. They've got pacey wingers like Daniel James and Willy Nanto, but Arsenal's press didn't give them a chance to break. Plus, losing Ethan Ampadu to injury before the game didn't help. Their manager, Daniel Farke, must be scratching his head.
For sure. Leeds have now lost their last 6 away games in the Premier League, their worst run since 1993. That's a tough stat to swallow. But for our listeners, here's the educational takeaway. Tactics win games. Arsenal's preparation, from set pieces to pressing, was spot on. Leeds didn't adapt, and they paid the price.
Exactly. And this game shows why the Premier League is so exciting. It's not just about talent. It's about strategy, teamwork, and execution. Arsenal nailed all three. Let's move to the bigger picture. What does this result mean for the season? All right, Carlos, let's zoom out. Arsenal are sitting top of the Premier League table after 2 games. 2 wins, 6 points. 6-0 goal difference. Is this a sign they're ready to challenge for the title?
It's early, but man, they look strong. Beating Manchester United away and then smashing Leeds 5-0 at home? That's a statement. Adding Eberechi Eze to an already stacked squad with Gyökeres, Saka, Odegaard, and Rice? They've got firepower. But those injuries to Saka and Odegaard are a worry, especially with a huge game against champions Liverpool next weekend at Anfield.
Yeah, that Liverpool match is going to be a test. If Arsenal can keep up this form, though, they could finally end their title drought. They've been runners-up 3 years in a row, so the hunger's there. What about Leeds? They're 11th with 3 points after this loss. Where do they go from here?
It's tough. Leeds are back in the Premier League after promotion, and that 1-0 win over Everton showed promise. But this game exposed their weaknesses: shaky defense, no midfield control, and trouble creating chances. They've got a Carabao Cup game against Sheffield Wednesday coming up, and then Newcastle in the league. Daniel Farke needs to rally the troops fast.
For sure. For students listening, this is a lesson in resilience. One bad loss doesn't define a season, but it's a wake-up call. Leeds need to tighten up at the back and get their attack clicking. Players like Lucas Nemecha and Noah Okafor, who came off the bench, could be key.
And let's not forget the fans. Leeds' supporters were still singing at the Emirates, even at 5-0 down. That's the kind of passion that can lift a team. Arsenal fans, though, they're dreaming of silverware after this performance.
No doubt. This match was a masterclass from Arsenal, but it's just one game in a long season. For our listeners, think about this. Football's about momentum, strategy, and belief. Arsenal's got all three right now, but can they keep it up? And can Leeds bounce back? Before we wrap up, let's hit our listeners with some fun facts about this game. Carlos, you got one?
Oh yeah, Arsenal's 33 corner goals since the 2023-24 season. That's 10 more than any other team in Europe's top 5 leagues. They're basically the set-piece kings of football right now.
Love that. Here's mine. Max Dowman's debut at 15 years and 235 days makes him the third youngest player in Premier League history, behind Arsenal's Ethan Nwaneri and Leicester's Jeremy Monga. Keep an eye on this kid. He's a future star.
All right, time to wrap it up. Lucas, what's your big takeaway from Arsenal 5, Leeds 0?
For me, it's about preparation meeting opportunity. Arsenal's tactics, training, and new signings all came together perfectly. But those injuries remind us, football's unpredictable. Stay sharp, Gunners.
I'm going with the rise of the new guys. Gyökeres, Eze, Dowman, these names are going to be big. Leeds, though, they got to regroup and fast. This Premier League season's already wild.
Couldn't agree more. Thanks for tuning in to Premier League Pulse, folks. If you love this breakdown, hit us up on social media, share your thoughts, and let us know who you're backing this season. Carlos, any final words?
Just one. Wow, what a game. See you next time, football fans.
Peace out, and keep loving the beautiful game.